Holding between these two teams, they've played 6 games. Auburn's played Baylor, Ball State, South Alabama, and Oklahoma's played Illinois State and Temple last week, and Michigan. And no disrespect to the other 5 opponents, but I think Michigan is the biggest one. Oklahoma's played in the biggest game so far. How big is that going into this matchup? They've already played in a big atmosphere, big environment right there in Norman.
I wouldn't say Baylor's much of a slouch either. I think they could be a contender in the Big 12. Granted, Michigan has much more history and prestige and everything like that, but I think both teams have played a good game, and I believe that game was in Waco too. So, both teams have faced their challenge, and then they've also had some easy games to kind of get them ready for this one. So, I think that the Michigan game really kind of proved and solidified a lot of the things that we had been hearing all off season about this team, and their ability to improve from last year and everything. And so the only thing that could really derail that is losing this game to Auburn and your former quarterback in Jackson Arnold. And so I think this is a big one just in terms of that, because you pick up a lot of momentum from that Michigan win. Now you got to keep it going. You got to start the SEC play with 1-0, and the fact that OU beat Auburn last year when it was one of the worst OU teams in a long time. One of the worst
Auburn losses in a long time too. Yeah, that was painful.
The state of Alabama did not like playing OU last year. It's kind of a weird thing, but
that was definitely something weird. Especially given the fact that Brent Venables was like in turmoil too, and he came over to here and he won a couple games. I mean that's an interesting place to be, no question. Holden, I want to ask, I always get a feel for, obviously we can watch the Oklahoma game and we can see that John Mateer can throw it well, and we can see that the defense is, but I feel like when you're there, boots on the ground, one thing that you can observe and feel and just get a sense of, comparatively speaking, is the fan base and the temperature and the excitement or the disappointment. And is there a guarded hopefulness by the Sooners fan base that this is the year, or is there a quiet confidence or a loud confidence that this is a team that is going to be one of the teams to beat in the Southeastern Conference?
OU fans have been hurt a few times in the Brent Venables era so far. So I think that, the guard was definitely up heading into this year. And that Michigan win, the guard's starting to come down, and people are, starting to feel the excitement and everything like that. And, I think you can only lose that by losing to Auburn. So I think you win this game, and you're going to be 5-0 heading into the Red River rivalry, which is, pretty, it's basically what you were.
Something different. There's no doubt about that.
I think it would be better than any OU fan could have hoped for, being undefeated going into the Red River rivalry. Now that kind of kicks off like a gauntlet of games. So, being 5-0 heading into the Red River rivalry doesn't exactly mean much, because you could easily lose 4 of the next 5 after that. But
I feel like you're kind of dismissing Kent State here, and I really don't think that, as a former MAC person myself, that I really appreciate that type of context there, Holden. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were talking about a potential letdown game with at Temple, so maybe you beat Auburn, and the guard's down, Kent State comes into Norman, and
well, actually, they sure beat them like they were UMass.
I did. I know, that was on me. That was on me, dog. That was on me.
I love it. Oh, you talked about John Mateer, but I want to talk a little bit about Ben Arbuckle and the way that he will attack this Auburn defense. So far this season, they've been able to stop the run at a really solid rate. And to me, the defense, the secondary has been solid as well. What do you figure that Arbuckle will do, given this game is at home, given this game is a really nice environment? Do you think he'll play off the crowd and let Mateer let it rip, or do you think he'll just try to ground and pound and shorten the game down with the run offense?
Yeah, I think one thing I've kind of noticed about Ben Arbuckle is his style isn't like set in stone, and he kind of seems to be able to adapt to whatever he thinks is the best game plan to defeat a defense that he's going against, whether that's running the ball, passing it, running with his quarterback, as he did a lot against Michigan. John Mateer carried the ball a lot in that win against Michigan, so he's not afraid to really kind of mix things up and change the offense up and into whatever he thinks is going to help them win the game. And whether that's running the football, throwing the football, I do think they have to establish the run. And one of the things that we continue to talk about is just the fact that, like, where the heck is Jay Knott in all of this discussion? Because he has been basically a complete non-factor in their first 3 games against 2 bad opponents and a good opponent. He's barely seen the field, and that's kind of a perplexing thing. They do really like Torrey Blaylock, though, out of the backfield. He won SEC Freshman of the Week for his performance against Temple, and he seems to, really kind of be leading this backfield at this point. And they like Javonte Barnes kind of spelling him a little bit, and they've mixed in Xavier Robinson. You got to be able to run the ball, but like you said, Auburn, it's kind of hard to run the ball against them. So we'll see. It kind of seems like they'll probably rely on Mateer to kind of, bail them out. And I mean, it's a good option to have if you're relying on John Mateer to bail you out, because he's pretty good at being able to do that.
Holden, I think I've been to Oklahoma like one time for a wedding, and I can't remember even what city it was in. It might have been Tulsa. I honestly can't remember. But back to my actual question that I was going to ask is that you're having to kind of pull double duty over the next 2 days and then somehow squeeze in high school football. Oklahoma State plays tomorrow against Tulsa, which, judging by this Google map search that I've done in the last 30 seconds, seems to be, it's like a triangle. There's Stillwater, and there's Tulsa, and there's Norman, which until this moment didn't realize that was outside of Oklahoma City. That's very interesting to note. What is your coverage plan? I'm always curious. What is your coverage plan like in terms of what you're going to do with Oklahoma State that's right up the road, so to speak, from where you're located, and then Norman that's in your back door? Maybe, I'm not trying to paraphrase or put words in your mouth, but obviously that game is kind of going to be a quick turnaround. What is your plan, you, Brian, and the crew there?
Yeah, so I'm just glad it's not an 11 a.m. kickoff against Auburn. That would have been made my life a little bit more.
That's too big of a game for 11 a.m. Hopefully they have more respect on that. Yeah.
I was hoping for the evening kickoff just to space it out a little bit more. I didn't get that lucky, but
so you're going to both.
I'll be and I'm covering a high school game tonight, so I'll be at a high school game tonight. Then I'll do OSU on Friday, and then sleep for however many hours I can, and then drive down to Norman on Saturday for the OU Auburn game.
So will you stay in Stillwater, or will you drive back to Oklahoma City tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'll drive back to Oklahoma City. I live in OKC, so it's on the way, basically, So.
I mean, it's like an hour and a half, though, right? Up there, and you got to double back 90 minutes?
It's an hour and a half between Norman and Stillwater. From our station, it's like an hour to Stillwater.
I was just trying to get him to foot the bill for a hotel for you, something like that. Holden, all right, man? Listen, you got all these young folks nowadays. They're like, oh, it's fine. We can pull all-nighters. Drive right to Norman. Just set up, a pop-up tent or something like that. No big deal.
Oh, no. I would prefer not to do this, but, it's the cards that we are dealt, and you know what? We're just making the best of it.
I'm just trying to have a smile on my face.
It's early in the season. If this was like, November, I might be feeling the effects of a long football season a little bit at that point. So.
Yeah, man.
Still running on adrenaline.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. That's hilarious. What's the outlook right now there in Stillwater with the Cowboys? How are things going there?
They actually just dipped into the Alabama pool. They have added a quarterback from North Alabama, seemingly out of nowhere.
Twitter. I saw this.
Yeah. We're 3 weeks into the season, and they are adding a quarterback who played at North Alabama in 2023.
How does that work? And let me. I just saw this on your Twitter a minute ago, actually. How does that work? And is there an open portal still? I don't even know. I can't even keep track anymore, honestly. If anyone can, let me know. Give me the Cliff Notes version of when the window's open and when it's not, because I have no idea what's going on with that.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do this, and it's kind of where they're at in the season is that they have gotten desperate for some quarterback depth, and
so they said, "Hey,
here they are.
Let's pick somebody up."
Yeah. Let's see what this guy can do.
North Alabama quarterback Noah Walters has been added, and he will be available Friday night. I'm telling you, that might be from North Alabama, but we got that going on in high school football down here a lot. We've got guys who play week 1 of the playoffs and week 4, and they're playing for a title, and the team they lost with week 1 is sitting at home, and they're playing for a championship 5 weeks later. I mean, it's a wild, wild west out here, and now we've got guys, transferring in week 4. How's that work?
I wonder if it's because it's FCS to FBS. I wonder if that's an issue. At first, I thought it was an NCAA like a waiver thing.
Yeah, the interesting thing is when he left North Alabama after the 23 season, I think it was like April of 24, he ended up spending the next season at UCF just as a student. he wasn't even on the football team or anything like that. So
wow.
The one thing I haven't quite figured out is if he has just been in the portal this whole time and just spent
he's been eating bonbons.
a year as a student at UCF or
no,
what?
He's probably been sitting chilling on the couch, and coach was like, "Hey, we better figure out somebody. Let's go find this Noah Walters." He entered the transfer portal in the spring of 2024, so that was a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
So wow, that sounds like the NFL. Like, hey, we got somebody went down. We got to pick somebody up to be there just in case. Hold the clipboard in case somebody goes down. We got to roll someone out there to be able to snap it. I mean. What the?
Yeah,
Come on over,
and
Case.
Mike Gundy says we're shifting to an NFL model, so I mean that's basically what they're doing right now. Like, get this guy off the practice squad or whatever, and see what he can do.
Guys,
I would think that their hope is that he never has to play for them.
I would think.
But considering the backup options to their current quarterback are 2 true freshmen, I think they wanted at least somebody who's played some sort of college football in their time, and Noah Walters was available, I guess.
Currently on the roster is who? Just a true freshman?
Yeah, and he actually was going to play at Tulsa, but his dad ended up getting hired as a coach at OSU, so he ended up moving from Tulsa to OSU before the season started. And then their other quarterback is a Stillwater High School kid. He graduated from Stillwater last year. Now he's on their team. So those are their 2 true freshmen behind Zane Flores, who himself made his first career start against Oregon just the other week. So they were light at quarterback.
Yeah, interesting note here is that this guy is a former Nebraska Gatorade Player of the Year, this Mr. Noah Walters, and apparently he and OSU's current starter competed against each other in high school. So that's certainly something notable.
Yeah, it's I guess they really like their Nebraska quarterbacks in Stillwater,
You know what? If you look at Noah Walters' hair, I think we might have our answer on why he's there, because he's not too far off their head coach. I'm just saying. So
he's embracing the mullet.
Here you go. Well, it's long enough. He's got some waves.
Oh,
to
yeah. He's got a little Gundy in him.
Yeah, he does. He does. No doubt about that. Holden, we appreciate your time. I'm not sure how we got on that tangent, but man, now I'm going to ask about Oklahoma State every time because it adds a lot more. You know what? Judging by who leads the program.
There's a lot of interesting things happening in Stillwater, that's for sure.
In college sports entirely as well. Holden, thank you so much for your time, sir, there from OKC. Tell Brian we said what's up, our girl Carrie as well, and we'll check in with you as the season moves forward.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you. Hopefully I'll survive this weekend of college football.
I'll text you on Sunday. Make sure that you're still living. Hopefully you're not going to cover some NFL game on Sunday. I mean, what do you got Sunday? Are you off?
No.
Are you off?
I'm not off Sunday, but I will not be covering an NFL game.
Holden, you need somebody. What are you doing on Sunday? You just have to work?
I've got to archive all the games, and I'll do a couple packages on OU for that. I'm looking forward to my Saturday because I'm going to do a wrap package from the OSU game and an OU game recap package. So I'm going to toss to myself from Norman to Stillwater.
Please make this the best transition ever, and that we can air it on the show next week, because this would kind of be the greatest thing ever. I love the creativity and the idea there. Please really do this. This will be great.
I'm gonna do my best to try and make it funny and kind of sell home the ludicrousness of what we're doing.
Embrace the insanity. Yep. I love it. I love it. Holden, thank you so much for your time, sir, and we'll check in with you next week.
All right, sounds good. I'll see you guys later.
Holden Krusemark joining us for Oklahoma City. He needs an agent, a friend, someone, a support system, somebody who can speak life into. You can't keep doing that, my guy. It ages you fast.
Yeah, he's like you said, he's still got that adrenaline. I think because we're so early in the season.
I have adrenaline too. It's called espresso.
Espresso. You might need that. You might, honestly, I don't know what caffeine is, but.
Now listen, it's when you have a 3-year-old and you do this job in sports. Yeah. You got people wondering, hey, when do y'all take your lunch break? Got that question this week. When do you take your lunch break? In sports, I haven't taken one in 15 years. Thanks for asking. I'll bill you for the ones that I had to work through.